Ooh, it's a little wet. The frost is thawing out because it's such a nice day. Welcome to the backyard. What a day. Feels like October, not November. So I'm out for a nice, easy zone 2 recovery. It's not really recovery. Just a zone 2 endurance run with focus on cadence. Yesterday, I was on the trails and did 4 by 5 minute strength endurance intervals uphill, just at sub-threshold wattage and heart rate, and then ran the descent. It was about 15 minutes steady descent to get eccentric loading, the downhill, the landing. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, why that's so crucial. But first, wanted to give a shout out to everybody that's starting to make comments on this. Is that, you know, I'm used to coaching athletes one-on-one or in group environments, and I'm finding that this YouTube way of coaching, I'm starting to get the hang of it, but it's because of the comments that you're making. I like to coach to the comments. I like to coach to the people that are watching this, and I'm very intuitive as a coach. I think that's mainly why I'm a good coach, but it helps me to hear people's dialogue, because then I can get into their mind and make videos that maybe help them go with what they're going through. Or for example, I had a guy on Instagram this morning just mention how much he has improved his soleus issue doing the strength workout in the Cool Impossible book, and how much stronger he is as a runner in general just by doing footwork. So again, things like that. Marcus from Sweden, thanks for the shout out. You know, I hope the slant board stuff works out for you. I know it will, actually. And I'll get to your suggestion on winter layering system. I have that in my plans to do a video on that, but I'm waiting for a few new articles of clothing to come in as a new kit to kind of put that together, and wait for maybe some colder weather. So I will be doing a kit YouTube layering system for winter. Stay tuned for that. So now back to today's episode. On Monday, I posted a photo and comment on Instagram about how important eccentric and isometric strength training is for runners. And specifically, I made the comment that, hey, if you're doing calf raises in the gym, either weighted or not weighted, it's really a waste of time. And because when we strike the ground with our forefoot, we load that calf. Okay? And think of it this way. As we strike the ground, we are stretching the calf muscle, just like a rubber band. It's stretching that rubber band. Okay? And what happens to a rubber band what happens to a good rubber band when you stretch it? Okay, you release it and it goes forward. Okay, that's what your calf muscles are doing. So when you land on the ground, you're stretching that rubber band in your body, in your calf, and then when you go to release that foot, that rubber band snaps you forward. Okay, so we really, really, really need to condition the eccentric, the landing, and the isometric strength, that moment in time from when you stretch that rubber band until you release it. That's what's going on when you're landing and hitting that ground. There's an isometric phase in every step. Okay, and that's why cadence is so important. When we land, we want to get off that foot as quickly as possible, so that rubber band shoots us forward. That rubber band is what's releasing that energy to help you propel yourself forward. Okay, it's not so much the concentric, or what I really want to pinpoint here is that we don't want to focus so much on propelling yourself forward by using ankle extension. Okay, we want to take the focus away from ankle extension, or pointing the toe to push yourself forward. The landing, the force providing into the ground with your entire leg will help provide propulsion forward. Okay, and I'm going to demonstrate that in a minute. But the key here is, again, the point of this Simple point of this video is we want to change our mindset from pushing off with our ankle and getting that ankle extension to go forward and drive into the ground, allow the rubber band to land well, snap that rubber band in your calf to go forward, okay? So I'm gonna head over to my little track behind the house where I do my drills, and we're gonna demonstrate some of this and give you a couple drills that you can help you train your eccentric, your landing, and your isometric, so you can land and get off that and create a really, really good rubber band. And the key here, going back to now stretching, okay? If you're significantly tight and you're stretching a lot, okay, what happens when we overstretch a rubber band consistently? Over time, it's gonna stretch out, right? And it's gonna be less snappy, less elastic, okay? That's what happens to our muscles when we stretch a lot, okay? We want to be a little bit tight. Tight muscles are really, really healthy. They keep us stable. They keep our body intact. They keep our ligaments and our muscles and our structural system intact, okay? And so if we're excessively stretching, we're just stretching that rubber band out, and pretty soon it's gonna get brittle, and it's just not gonna be snappy, okay? We want snappy muscles because that's healthy. That's gonna keep you healthy. It's gonna keep you strong, okay? All right, let's head back on the trail, and we're gonna head over to the track for a couple demos and exercises that you can do. All right, so let's hit the little trail here. What a day. All my hills up here, all these trails up here now are closed November 1, so for wildlife closure. So I won't be able to hit those until May 1 again. Usually it's not a problem because a lot of times we have snow at this point, but it's all melted and time to hit the lower trails. And fortunately I have a nice little trail system in the backyard, so home is just right over there. And here's my little track, and I'm gonna set the camera down and do a little demonstration. Okay, here we go. So here we've got ankle extension, ankle flexion, ankle extension, ankle flexion. In this, we want to avoid extremes on either end. We want to keep that ankle nice and neutral. I'm driving into the ground and pulling my leg through. So I strike the ground, keep that ankle, I'm pushing through the ground with my leg and pulling my leg through. Keep that ankle neutral, strike the ground. So again, strike the ground. We want to avoid a lot of that push off with that ankle extension right there. Really wasted, very weak movement and very slow. Okay, it's why lifting heavy weights, doing ankle calf raises, is not the way to go. Okay, so here's a drill you can start just by simple, what I call kind of quick feet, just running in place, nice quick feet. We're engaging the calf, engaging elastic energy. So here again, I'm using my leg to drive into the ground. Here's another drill, ankle jumps. Okay, the key here is I'm jumping with my ankle. I'm creating elastic energy and that rubber band in my calves to jump. Notice how I'm not using my knees to jump. This is not a squat jump, okay? So see how we want to avoid that squat, completely different exercise, okay? We're jumping with all the elastic energy, stretching that rubber band in my calves to allow me to jump. Okay, so keep the knees straight, keep the legs straight when you're doing the ankle jumps. Another drill is simply balancing on my forefoot, heels elevated off the ground, and I'm just balancing. Okay, and then I can take that to one-legged hops. Again, there's not a lot of knee movement. I got a little bit there, but since I'm one-legged, it's not as strong as doing two, okay? So I'm just hopping on that forefoot, creating elastic energy in the calf, okay? that eccentric landing and getting off that feet nice and quick. So just hopping on one leg, nice and quick. And then we can add a little difficulty and hop and then lift that leg, lift the leg, same leg up. Again, they'll be in the videos below the video. Okay, and then we got nice quick feet again. I'm just running forward, almost like you're running on hot coals. Nice quick feet. Again, we're loading the calf, getting off, training the feet, training our neuromuscular system, training our rubber band to get off the ground quickly. Okay, can't go forward unless you're off the ground. You got to get off the ground quickly. Another exercise, again, just hopping forward, again, letting it come from the elastic energy of our calf. Notice I'm not pushing off, I'm not getting that ankle extension, or I'm not using my knees. This is all elastic energy coming from our calves. Again, it's all about the eccentric loading that's allowing me to get these jumping. All right, there you go. Have at it. Okay, there's a ton of stuff to work on. Ideally, when you're doing this at home, you want to do it barefoot, no socks, all barefoot. I'm obviously outside, and I've had my mountain slippers on, my Solomon Sense, so they're almost like being barefoot. But you want to be able to really engage your feet. So if you're outside doing them, either do them barefoot on grass that allows you to, or pick a real minimal shoe for that day and get some good strength going. So, well, give it a shot. And now's a good time, as most of us are entering the winter season. This is something you can do at night, almost anywhere. So you don't even need to go to a gym to do some of this stuff, and it's so potent. Once you get into doing it, you'll get it. You'll really understand why we're doing it. Super potent. So with that, ease into it. You know, when we start jumping, when we start doing something new, maybe you need to strengthen your forefoot strike, you know. So ease into this, listen to the body as always, and don't work through soreness. Take a couple days off, but you know, doing some type of drills like this as a warm-up, as a cool down in the middle of a long run is all good strength training that can be done 2 to 3 times a week. But again, ease into it, see how you feel the next day after doing it for the first time. But I will also link at the bottom of this, I have a ton of drills that I did over the summer that all go to help with this as well. Okay, so try it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what questions you have, and let's make that rubber band a little snappier. All right, I'm headed home. It's on the other side here. Let's go. Nice cool down. See you next time. And as always, run forward, live backwards.